comes down to style. So, for example, if you're playing in a rock type way, you may well use palm muting. If you're playing more of a punky, new wave kind of way, you may not. So, for example, if I saw a bunch of eighth notes written and I was in a certain type of punk, new wave type band, if you like...
I'm imagining you there.
Imagine that. It would be this kind of... Maybe that type of playing.
I'm thinking
maybe.
Sex Pistols, yeah.
Exactly, but it's a stylistic thing. Or you may choose to play it palm muted.
And again, I see Bryan Adams.
Again, you see Bryan Adams. And of course, you may actually do a combination of the two, which is what we're coming to now.
I like it.
OK, what we've done in the Gigajam course, at this particular point, as you work through lesson 4, we've just told you to mute the eighth notes. All the eighth notes are muted while we're learning palm muting. Now, because when you play a palm muted note, it's very short, it just goes dink, and it's finished, the longest note value that we can palm mute is an eighth note. So any note which lasts longer than an eighth note cannot be palm muted.
Obviously, because then that's not
You'll turn it back into an eighth note. The minute you stop it, it turns into an eighth note. OK, so what we have written in the next exercise is... or are eighth notes, but also some quarter notes. There's a half note in exercise 4 as well. Those will not be muted. OK, so the eighth notes are palm muted, all the others unmuted. Now this brings in another technique, in a way, which has to be addressed. It's the same technique for the palm muting, but you have to get used to palm muting, then letting go, and then putting your hand back down on the palm muting again. The unmuting is rarely a problem. You just go back to the way you've played up to this point. That's quite easy. Just let your hand off the bridge and play. But it's putting your hand back down on the palm muting accurately in the right place, which is why before the break we were talking about the fact you've got to keep practicing that muting, get used to where your hand lives, and eventually you just mute and unmute without thinking about it. Your hand will just move in and out of position.
When you put your hand down to palm mute, you're not going to get any noise, are you?
Not really, no.
Right.
No, it'll be fine.
If you do, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, it should be pretty clean. It lands simultaneous with your pick, or simultaneously with you picking the guitar strings. So you shouldn't hear any transitional noise. All right, well, let's have a look at the exercise. Okay. Let's sort of break it down. Okay.
This is exercise 4. So
exercise 4.
Two quarter notes.
Yeah, I'd just like to say also we're only using one chord. So we can not worry about the chords other than playing the A5 chord we've got there. Just worry about the muting technique and the unmuting with the rhythm. So bar 1, as you say, we've got 2 quarter notes, which will not be muted. Play those in the old-fashioned way, as it were. And then we've got 4 eighth notes where we implement the palm muting. Yeah. Okay. Bar 2, we've got 2 eighth notes, which will be palm muted. Beat 2 is a quarter note, so unmuted. Yeah. Beat 3 is 2 eighth notes, palm muted. And beat 4 is a quarter note, so once again, that's unmuted. Unmuted. Okay. Bar 3, we start with a half note, so that's certainly unmuted. So it will ring for the full 2 beats. Yeah. And then beats 3 and 4 are palm muted eighth notes. Bar 4, we have 2 quarter notes to begin with. Unmuted. Unmuted. And then 4 eighth notes at the end again, which will be muted.
Are we able to go through this a bar at a time? I mean, I've got the extractor, but we'll do that in a sec.
Of course we can, yeah.
Let's do it sort of bar 1. Certainly. Just on your own. OK,
what I'll do is I'll cut myself in. I'll play the 2 quarter notes, which will be unmuted. Yeah. And then the 4 eighth notes, which will be muted. All right. OK? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what that would sound like. I'll give you a few of those. Yeah. I'll do it a little bit quicker as well. OK. Because normally the technique or the type of music where this would be employed would be slightly faster music. Right. So I'll just play that way just so you can understand the stylistically why it's being done. So we get the effect. A little bit quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And by doing that, we can really hear the difference between them. So those are our unmuted.
Just going 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1,
unmuted,
2, 3,
muted.
And 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So
that's bar 1.
That's bar 1.
Bar 2?
Bar 2 sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4.
OK, that's a trickier bar.
Yeah, it does look it.
That's a trickier bar because beat 1 in the bar, which is the 2 eighth notes, is muted, and then you've got to unmute for beat 2, and then mute again straight away for beat 3. So that was more difficult. So again, practice it nice and slowly. Make sure you understand the technique. But take your time over that bar, certainly. This bar looks maybe a bit easier. This is the easiest bar so far. So we've got a half note right at the beginning, which I'll let sustain for 2 beats, and then I'll play the 4/8 notes muted again. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And bar 4?
Bar 4, 2 quarter notes. In fact, it's exactly the same as bar 1.
Easy peasy.
Exactly the same. So no problems there.
All right, let's play it all together.
Okay.
Do you want to do it at 80 or 120?
Let's do it at 80 just for the time being, so people can understand what's involved in trying to play it, and then maybe we could speed it up to get the full effect.
You live on the edge.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2. Muted. Unmuted. Unmuted. Muted. Unmuted. Muted. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. How was that?
It was okay for me.
It sounded good.
Good.
That's obviously one to practice though, isn't it? That changing. That's
quite a tricky technique when you're getting used to it, changing in and out of the palm muting and the unmuting. But I guess like anything, once you've done it enough, it's so much of a feel thing, and it's such a tiny difference between muting in terms of distance, muting the guitar and unmuting. Something I would like to point out that I've found in my own private teaching, that when people unmute, they're so anxious to get their hand off the guitar, they kind of... They have this huge exaggerated movement.
It's like a chicken dance, isn't it?
Exactly, but all you've got to do is literally let go.
Yeah.
So there's no... If I play some palm muting and unmuting, hopefully it's not hugely obvious when I'm letting go. My hand's coming up. It's coming up, of course it is.
Yeah.
But it's not... Which, of course, will make it really, really hard to put your hand back in the right position. So, you know, don't worry too much about this. Make sure you are unmuting and that your hand is out of the way before you hit the notes.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost a simultaneous movement, obviously, if you're playing very fast as well. But, you know, don't do anything really exaggerating. Keep your arm and hand in more or less the same place.
And maybe don't expect to get this the first time you do it.
Of course not. No, plenty of practice required. Yeah, definitely.
All right. More practice we need.
OK.
Another exercise?
Certainly. OK. If we have a look at exercise 5 here, similar sort of idea, but we're just changing the chords. It's exactly the same rhythm. Yeah. But we've got a G5 at bar 3. Which makes life slightly trickier.
It's that little one-up level of difficulty.
Exactly. So we have to be thinking about the chord changes, and it's just another piece of information to factor in. So we're now reading the rhythm, we're changing the chords, and we're implementing the palm muting and unmuting when required. So there's quite a lot going on.
I wish you luck. I'm going to load the extractor up.
Okay.
So you can play along with some music.
Okay, fine.
Because we know the rhythm now, don't we?
Yeah, sure.
We've practiced that in exercise 4.
Okay.
We'll do it at 80 BPM.
Fine.
I think that's a good thing, both for you, me and you.
Yes.
So are you ready?
Agree. Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you steady?
Okay.
Here we go. So this is starting off on A5. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Changing the chord down to G. 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. And back up to A. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and... The good thing about this, keep playing, I don't want to distract you. It's all on those same top two, the 6th and 5th string. That was G, 1, 2,